Peace, peace. This is Nitty Scott MC, rocking with the Boombox family, and you are watching Montreality. In school, I was actually a real overachiever, kind of a nerd in the way that I took my work very seriously. I remember breaking down, crying one time because I got a 95, which was still an A, but it wasn't 100. So I was kind of psycho in that way. But I was also popular, so it was kind of cool. Like, I wasn't down with like dumbing myself down for people. So I was always like someone that got along with the really smart kids, and you know, but I could still rock with the popular kids too. So it was a little bit of both. I was like a popular, smart kid. I even had a homework company at one point. I've been hustling from early. So when I was younger, I realized that getting these A's was really easy for me. So I started my own little hustle where I would charge people for me to do their homework, and it would be different prices depending on what it was, and I got it in school. I really did. I think I was a good student. If I was a teacher, I would have a Fleetwood Mac greatest hits course. It's absolutely necessary, and they'd have to learn all about Stevie. Growing up, the first job that I ever had was actually at Disney World, and I was a character performer. So I would do the fur costumes from like Winnie the Pooh and Chip 'n Dale, and then I also would do the Disney princesses and play Pocahontas and Princess Jasmine, sign in autographs and parades and all that stuff. So it was really fun. I think it's a dope job to have when you're 16 years old, and it was kind of like, it was just really cool to interact with the kids and everything like that. And then I also worked at Ben & Jerry's before, so I was, you know, bringing all the boys to the yard, the milkshakes and whatnot. I have also worked in a grocery store. You know, I think I've done a lot of those typical shitty jobs that nobody wants to do, but you know, when you're young, you gotta get it, so. When I get my first big paycheck, I am going to pay off my parents' mortgages. Absolutely, and start college funds for my little brothers and sisters, which I have a lot of, and make sure that everybody that I love is taken care of. The latest book that I read that absolutely changed my life actually is Be Here Now by Baba Ram Dass. And I'm not going to say any more about that, but it definitely helped me to deal with a lot of existential questions that I had about life and spirituality and whatnot. So that was an amazing book for me. What else is a super dope book? The Magus of Stravolos. Not sure if I'm saying it right. Stravolos. It's a very dope book about a magic man in Greece. And that was a very interesting book. It was given to me by my friend Aliki, actually. And it's one of those books that is kind of just gonna be passed around. You know, it was given to me as a gift, and when I'm done with it, I actually plan on giving it to another artist so that they can take what they want out of it. And that's sort of the only requirement to get the book, is that when you're done, you have to pass it on to somebody else. So it's kind of awesome. In a previous lifetime, I think I was a simple old man that was a fisherman or something on an island somewhere, eating mangoes, catching fish, living in a hut. You know, the fact that I'm so drawn to simplicity and minimalism and nature, you know, I'm just convinced that I was an old man chilling on an unmarked island somewhere, just living amongst nature. I really think I was a very laid back kind of village man. My favorite cartoon character of all time, Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon was just celestial. She had star power. All her homegirls was bad. I mean, I think I definitely idolized Sailor Moon at one point.
Yeah, Sailor Moon was dope.
Wasn't she awesome?
I was watching it on the low.
Sailor Moon was ill. They need to bring her back.
Yeah.
No, I was never into video games. My little brother always tried to put me on, and you know, I would play like Mario Kart as long as I could be Princess Peach, you know, that was cool. But other than that, I'm not really into the video games. Too girly for that. The realest shit I ever wrote. Alright. Okay, now I got a secret nobody knows. Deep in the dark, but I know that it shows. Gotta get high just to beat the lows. My whole soul got woes and the pressure grows. Born to a broken home, I mean a broken house, cause the trust was out. Mom's got tears and I lived in fear. Never even had the same address for a year. And now my stats is packed. Panic attacks, I need a permanent nap. Searching for a turn in the map. Burning, I'm looking for a person to snap on. Send a motherfucking nurse to black on. Straight cursed and a verse in black on. If it wasn't for this track to rap on, I would have to put the damn platforms back on. They try to tell me that I'm living in a desperate place, but then I tell them that I never saw a different space. It seems we roaming down the street with no end, and I just like to pretend like my shrink ain't my best friend. I've been drowning in my sorrows, full of hollows, but I'm hollow. Lacking in bravado, and I borrow on tomorrows. Ain't no trace of where we at, so it's time to face the facts. I say, hello world, I'll get back to you on that. The biggest lie in the world. Oh man. That Nitty Scott ain't hot. That's the biggest lie. The Art of Chill album, we haven't found a street date for it just yet. But I am looking to drop it in spring of 2014. We got about 14 brand new records on there. Got the homie Ab Soul, Stacy Barth, Big Pooh, some dope features on there. And it's definitely about healing, you know, it's all about healing and revealing myself and sort of showing people some of the things that I experience internally. And as a person that was dealing with a lot of stress, just anxiety, panic attacks, I was really coming to a place in my life where I felt that I needed to find inner stillness. I needed to find a place of peace when everything is chaotic around you. You know, when you can't control your scenario, you can't control what's happening, but you can control what's happening inside of you. And that's what the Art of Chill is about. It's about digging deep into myself to find what I consider the safest place in the world, which is inside of yourself. How did I get put on? I would say where my interest peaked as far as spirituality and chakras and energy and all of that was through Ski Beats, who I have a couple records with on the Art of Chill and working on a new project with. He has become a very close friend of mine, and I think it was super divine how we met and how he sort of was into the same things that I was, and he definitely gave me literature that expanded my consciousness and my awareness of what I was already looking into. So now I'm all about it. I'm definitely in a place of exploration, sort of unlearning unhealthy things that I think we're conditioned to believe and that we kind of grow up believing, and things that become a part of our psyche. And I've definitely been unlearning a lot of those things and opening my mind up to a different perspective on reality. So I meditate a lot, align my chakras a lot, I read a lot, and I try to connect with people who are on the same tip and who are becoming realized beings. It's definitely a journey for me. But Ski Beats, shout out to him, salute, he's definitely a part of that for me. So I feel like society teaches you that you have to have a title, that you have to earn a reason for people to respect you. And what I don't think people understand is that we are all just enough. As we are, who we are, the fact that we are alive and reciprocating and giving off, you know, frequencies and vibes and energies. You know, we don't have to wait to be validated by people, and that's something that I've definitely had to teach myself, and something that I am helping to spread and instill in other people, that we are really just enough as the human beings that we are, and nothing has to be done or accomplished for people to validate your existence. We all matter. And I think society has a funny way of making you feel that you have to prove that you matter, when from the minute you were born, you absolutely mattered. And that's what spirituality has done for me. Flower Child was super dope, how it came together. Kendrick had actually come to perform in Brooklyn, and it was his first show out here at the time. This was like way before Good Kid, Mad City, so he was definitely on a come up, and so was I, and I still am. And I just, you know, we just connected. We're definitely friends. That's the homie. And when I finished the record itself, you know, I wrote it on my own, and it was this message to my growing audience to be patient with me and to allow me to have my natural growth and to evolve, you know, at the pace that I want to. So when I decided to name it Flower Child, he automatically popped in my head as just the black hippie. You know, it just totally went together, totally cohesive. So when I asked him to be on it, he was like, definitely. And he came to New York. We got in the studio, and he wrote his verse right there on the spot. You know, it was like kind of amazing. He's kind of a genius. I didn't really give him much direction on it. Just kind of explained where I was coming from, and he sort of vibed off of that and came up with his version right there. And then we actually lost his verse a little with like bit down the line, and he had to re-record it for me, so thank you. He's kind of awesome for that. And that was, you know, the birth of Flower Child. So it was amazing. Shout out to my fans as well, because they actually helped me to raise over $6,000 for the video itself. We did the Kickstarter campaign and all of that. So it was definitely just an organic record altogether. The way that it happened, the way that the video came to life, the attention and, you know, sort of praise that it's gotten, it's all been really organic. And I think it's because it speaks to, you know, a very root sort of core feeling that we all have, which is just allowing ourselves to be. So that was Flower Child. My last meal would consist of empanadas and mango nectar. Last supper right there. My Nitty Scott's message to the youth is to figure out who you are. You know, it's not necessarily to be like me or get like me, but to figure out who you are, setting aside the conditioning and the standards and the things that, you know, you think you're supposed to be, but really getting down to the core of yourself, discovering who that is and embracing it. I think if everyone did that, we'd have a generation of successful, self-aware individuals.